Glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smook Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You can do this by becoming a member of the AAA family. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link, it'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. Understand that there are multiple ways to support the channel, and each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. Once you join, YouTube is going to ask for some payment information, and make sure you monitor your subscription dates. Also, if you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smook Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com, and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy, Coach Smook of the Coach Smook Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel.
Better go subscribe. You do roll with the tide. I'm down in the gun with Coach Smook. Through the game, roll tide, roll tide. Better go subscribe. TikTok.
There we go. Now we're back. I accidentally unplugged the mic again, y'all. We tripping over here. We tripping. Appreciate y'all for pulling up today, man. We don't have a show. We have a topic of conversation today. If you're tapping in live, thank you for tapping in live. Like and share the video as you come in live. Get some more viewers in here live. We're only going to be here for about 30 minutes. This is a VOD. I wanted to go ahead and do it live, get it cut up and chopped up, and then post it as a VOD. So we'll have a live for them to refer to get the natural cut, but then we're going to edit this up and post it. A topic of conversation that's real interesting, and this came out yesterday towards the evening. And as you all know, if you all are following college football as closely as Coach Smook is, you know that the SEC, that college football is, the NCAA is having their commissioners and I guess athletic directors meeting in Destin, Florida. We have a few articles that we're going to look at, and I'm going to read over. But some reports, we knew some of the agenda going into this week with some of the issues that were going to be on the table. And one of the primary things was with all of the commissioners and athletic directors that were present and representatives present, the SEC was very adamant about getting their agenda across this year and making a statement so that we don't see some of the things that happened with the playoffs and the selection committee happened last year and previous years, where we know that you might have had a 3-loss or 4-loss SEC team, but they were light years and head and shoulders above, better than those other teams, that Mountain West team or that Big 12 team, 2-loss Big 12 conference champ, or that 1-loss ACC champ, right? So we're going to get into that conversation. We're going to talk about it. Just go over some of the things that came from the reports that came from the meeting yesterday. Like I said, we won't be here long live. We got gaming content kicking off at noon, right? We didn't get to do it yesterday, so we're going to use our down day to do our gaming content. Y'all come over there, support that on TikTok. We will solely be on TikTok, but we will be posting clips during the game on our Smook Hines page and our Coach Smook gaming page. So if you haven't already, go and follow Smook Hines at Smook Hines on YouTube and Coach Smook Gaming on YouTube. Man, we're at 65 subscribers on the Smook Hines page, and then we're at I think we just hit 25 or something like that on the Coach Smook Gaming page. So got some fun things happening for the Coach Smook Network. Thank you all for supporting while I'm trying to get rid of these little hiccups that we got this morning. But before we jump into the conversation, I just want to personally shout out everybody that's here live for this random morning live show. And we're going to shout out Greg McKinney. Appreciate Greg for being in the building. Jordan Wright being in the building. Zach, I see you. Excuse me. I got hiccups all of a sudden. And be sure to share this live. Oh, yeah. Okay. I thought you was trying to give me an announcement. Sankey is actually looking out for college football. Exactly, Benji. But you see how I had to put it. Man, I live 10 minutes away from Destin. I didn't know anything about that. What? Yeah, go be nosy. Hey, Kai J, I seen your link. We'll get you hired onto the Coach Smook Network for a day. There we go. Look at my mods going crazy with the links. They're getting the links for y'all. Shout out to Jordan, Zach. Man, Greg, even though he not a mod, he been here since day one and is here in just about every stream, man, comes and shows the support. So I really appreciate you, Greg. I'm going to get y'all comments up on the screen so we can have them actively rolling through as we get ready to jump into this show, man, jump into this conversation. What's up, Sully? Good to see you, brother. Welcome in. Good to see you. Make sure we dropping those likes on the stream, man. Shout out to the viewers between all 3 platforms. We got 19 in here on YouTube, 25 on Twitter right now. Here at the 10-minute mark, we're going to dive into the conversation. The SEC has the SEC has made it known that they are making plans. Greg Sankey and the athletic directors in the SEC. And I think this was a majority supportive type thing from your coaches. I haven't got any official reports or read anything official, but I think this is something that's being heavily supported by the conferences, the powers to be, the SEC, the Big Ten. Those conferences are really in support of Greg Sankey's public message. And shout out to Ray Parham for pulling up. Shout out to my cousin. I call him my cousin, man. We come from the same area. Shout out to you, man. But we want to get into it. I want to read an article, man, and I'm gonna pull it up. I got a few articles that I want to read up because I'm not going to sit here and act like one of them guys that act like this is my realm of college football, of knowing what's going on behind the desk, right? I'm aware of it. I just don't know the particulars, so I'm not going to be one of those guys. But let me show y'all what we got going on here. Let's see. And this is this is going to be a very biased article that we're going to read. I want to read it just to kind of get he acknowledges the basis of what the meeting covered, but this writer does definitely share his personal feelings. You can feel it in the writing. Shout out to Russell McDaniel pulling up, man. Appreciate you for being here, Russell. They said, hey, we gotta get Russell a wristband. That boy said he hate the fact that he can't set it up the right way, but we got you, man. We're gonna get you squared away. You support like no other, man. But let's see. Let's share a screen here and let's read this article, and then we're going to kind of give our thoughts on it. Then we're going to leave this up for discussion in the comments for our VOD, man. If you're tuning in, make sure you leave a comment and let me know what you think about Greg Sankey. Greg Sankey kicks off SEC spring meetings, and so I was wrong. This was not just NCAA. This was SEC spring meetings with selective memory and spin that fails the reality test. So even by the test, selective memory, right? Tom Fornelli of the CBS, I guess he's a CBS affiliate, is writing this story. So let's get into it. Now, I got the gist of what, yeah, Yeah, nah. See, this is why I wanted to read it, Kevin. Appreciate you for pulling up. This is the CBS reports, and this is why I wanted to read it, because I got the gist of what the meeting consisted of, right, and what was said. And I'm going to bring the chart that showed the outline, the actual meeting notes that outlined the meeting and the agenda and some of the key points that were taken. So Greg Sankey is doing his job. It's true that sometimes doing that job leads to him saying things that simply aren't true. On Monday night, while most of the country was dealing with heartburn and blah, 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 Sanking was in Florida speaking to the media ahead of this week's SEC spring meetings. Is there that Sankey will listen to the heads of 16 schools he's commissioner of and set a course for what's best for the SEC. That's his job, and he's damn good at it. Of course, of considerable concern for the league at the moment is the shaping future of the sport through the college football playoff. While the 2025 version will remain at 12 teams with restructured seating, right? He said, thankfully, expansion is inevitable. Whether it will be 14 or 16 teams is unclear, as is the format that will decide who occupies those 14 to 16 slots. So I like what he's doing at the beginning of this article. He's going ahead and acknowledging some of the obvious concerns and some of, not necessarily concerns, things that are of importance to Greg Sankey when it comes to the SEC being represented in the college football playoff or in college football. And also just giving us the level playing field that everybody else. If we're not gonna, I'm getting into my own little digest here, but if we're not going to have strength of schedule matter for selection and playoff spots, then we're not going to punish our conference by beating each other up more than the 8 times we have to begin with. So with that being said, why do I sound like I have some type of crazy feedback right now? Right check, mic check. Mic check. Let me see something. Do y'all hear it sound like I got some frequency interruptions or something? Let me see. Mic check, mic check. Am I tripping or am I tripping? Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Mic check. What we going? We doing good now? We good, chat? I think it's good now. All right. So yeah. All right. I had to put some compression on. All right. So diving into this conversation, like I said, you have to wonder the agenda of the powers to be when it comes to the NCAA, when it comes to the because at the end of the day, I think college football fans want to see the best teams available compete for the national championship. That's how you determine who the best team in the country is every year in and year out. You allow the best teams. And when you have a conference that's as talented as the SEC, as the Big 10, as the Big 12, right? And we'll even give the ACC their respect for being a second tier Power 5 conference, right? But they have had teams, and even last year with Clemson and I would say Clemson became more of a complete team than Miami did at the end of the year. But with Clemson and how they performed over recent history, I understand why Greg Sankey is trying to push this narrative, as should other conferences in their perspective lanes. And I mean that by, let's be realistic about it. If your conference is not producing, if we look at the last 20 years of national champions, and the ACC has only produced 3 out of 20 years, and the Big 10 has produced 5, and the rest is the SEC. Until we see an independent team or a Mountain West team or somebody like that come in and really force these other conferences out of the picture as far as representing college football as the national champs, then we have a lot of leverage in these demands or these bargains that we're trying to create when it comes to the selection committee, with getting the SEC and the teams in the SEC, Big 10, more playoff spots and making sure that we're guaranteed our due positions in this in the playoffs. So rest assured, Sankey will do everything he can to make sure SEC is well represented. It's clear that losing becomes in many ways more important than beating the University of Georgia, which 2 of our teams that were left out did. He said in reference to the belief that the strength of schedule was not taken into consideration when choosing last year's playoff field. That's why three lost SEC teams, Alabama, Ole Miss, and South Carolina, were left out of programs simply left out for programs simply unworthy of being considered great, like Indiana and SMU. And that is the primary gripe. You look at last year's strength of schedule, Alabama, Ole Miss, and Carolina had the win over. They had the 2 ranked wins compared to Georgia, 2 top 10 wins compared to Georgia's only 1. So and they were tied with us as far as losses. They had a strength of schedule was higher than both teams mentioned that got in above them. Even Penn State, who was I think Penn State was they the runner up in the conference? No, it was Ohio State. Or Oregon, one of them. Who won that conference? Ohio State or Oregon? It's Oregon, right? So Oregon goes and wins the conference, if I'm not mistaken, because they were the only undefeated team yet. So Oregon wins that conference that year. But you look at it now, even with the Big Ten, they make a case now pulling Oregon in, pulling some of the other big name schools in. They get to make a case for themselves, just like Greg Sankey and the SEC. So anyway, Sankey is not incorrect in the sense that strength of schedule should matter, which is his greater point. It definitely should. Where he's off base, and this is where I disagree in this article. Where he's off base is that it did matter. It just didn't matter more than winning games, or more pertinent to the cases of Alabama, Ole Miss not losing to mediocre teams. I want to make a case of this and say, when you lose to a preseason and a team in Oklahoma, I'm sorry, y'all, a top 25 team that came into the season, ranked top 25, you lose on the road to this team that, they had ranked wins on their schedule as a subpar team. You look at Vanderbilt, had ranked wins on their schedule as a subpar team, quote unquote. This is where I say transitive property is irrelevant, and you should judge the games based off how they play week to week, right? And with the committee, they don't get to do that. They don't get to dissect the games every week. So you can't really do eye tests. You can't really just turn on the film. So they have to come up with something. The committee has to come up with something that says this is who the best are, and they've come up with all these different metrics and things that matter that they aren't utilizing. They still are looking and saying, okay, Ohio State looked good the last 3 weeks of the season, and they only have 2 losses, so they got to get in. They're still trying to apply the eye test without saying it, and that's not fair when you have teams like South Carolina, Alabama, and Ole Miss last year who were clearly better than some of those teams that got in. So this is the part where I kind of disagree. So and the article went on. If you all want to read the article, I could provide the link in the chat. But it went on just to say how strongly Greg Sankey felt about, the SEC could have easily had 5 teams represented in the playoffs last year, outside of Texas, Georgia. Who else made the playoffs out the SEC, chat? You had Texas, you had Georgia. Who else was it in the SEC? Were they the only 2? Or am I tripping? Georgia had the bye. Texas played. We want Tennessee. That's who it was. Tennessee with Ncaa. There goes Zach. You had it. Everybody that's popping in chat now. Tennessee, Greg, Zach, Greg, Tennessee. So you had 3 teams. Now you got to think. Alabama lost a close game to Tennessee, right? A close road game to Tennessee. Then you had Tennessee lost to Georgia, right? Georgia loses to Ole Miss. Georgia loses to Bama. Georgia beats Texas to give them their only conference loss of the year. So 5 teams in that mix-up could have evidence and say, we are literally on the same level if you're going to use eye test and transitive property. This team got the better of us this week. This team got the better of this week. But we also got the better of this team that you're saying is the best in this conference. This team that's the best in this conference, and the team that you thought was the best in this conference just got beat by the previous team that just lost to 2 other teams in the conference. So it's a bunch of imbalance when they had this selection last year, when you could literally just put those 5 quality SEC teams in and had a more quality outcome in the playoffs. And I know a lot of the other conferences, especially the ACC, they're going to cry for Florida State and Miami and Clemson. I think Clemson is probably your only proven product out of that conference, and they won't be in that conference too much longer. I guarantee you, if the SEC, and I feel that the SEC, Greg Sankey and the Big Ten commissioners are serious about separating from the NCAA, I guarantee you teams like Clemson will separate from the NCAA. So that's a little insight on it. Who is this lady on my screen, y'all? I don't know her. Get her off here before she get me in trouble. But that's kind of the gist of what we want to talk about today. Do you all think that the idea of separating the SEC and creating their own league, right? Do you think that'll be good for college football? Is it going to be college football anymore, right? Like at what point, because of it being more solely gained on solely based on the respect and the acknowledgement of athletics and control of athletics, are we really taking away the student athlete aspect of college athletics? I think that's what we're happening, and I think Greg Sankey is trying to save it. I think he's trying to save it. That's why he's threatening and having, trying to get realistic plans to go and reestablish another form of college football. And it may not come out. I don't think the governing of it will be as efficient as what the NCAA has been, as inconsistent as the NCAA has been. You have too many, this is how you fix it, options out there for it to transition smoothly and for it to be realistic. Do I think it'll be happening? Do I think there'll be a push and some things, it'll force some changes to happen with the NCAA? Yes, 100%. But realistically, SEC, Big 12 separating from the NCAA, and the NCAA is been losing its power, right? I think before we see them separate, I think we see some type of collective bargaining agreement come into and have their own jurisdiction in college athletics. And then also you see some other governmental aspects, implemented or intertwined with the NCAA at a more respectable level, to where it's not hidden. It's not being hidden about who's making the decisions, the real decisions on the back end, right? And get more hands-on experience, on the job experience involved in these talks, so that we can have a better landscape of what we can do to continue to fix college football. But this is a step in the right direction. I think Greg Sankey is doing the right thing to really get a message out there that we want to save college football. The NCAA just continues to act and play as if they want to continue to save the game or college athletics with this NIL and the portal stuff. They act like they want the best for the players, but at the end of the day, it's guys sitting in those seats that's making decisions, that's getting them paid at the end of the day, not really taking care of the universities, the coaches, and the players, and the staff that's involved in producing these products, these entertaining products, because that's what it is at the end of the day. It's entertainment, right? So I want you all to stop right now in the chat. If you're watching right now, take a moment before you do anything in the chat. Like and share this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. But leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Greg Sankey and him making this proclamation of the SEC having plans to separate from the NCAA. I am not your college football insider that's going to know about the meetings and all of this stuff. We're talking, recruiting. We're talking about portal. We're talking about depth chart, not video game, but in-game analysis, post-game analysis, things of that nature. So when it comes to this stuff, we're going to rely on all of our resources, but we also have some people that's partnered with Coach Smook Network that'll be coming on. So we'll be possibly doing a collab this weekend with Hall of Fame Jason and Coach Den and the Hall of Fame crew over there. Probably get the Voice of College Football, some of their guys, and do a collab over here and get a panel Yeah, Coach Smook going to do a panel. Y'all know we do them every now and then. Only when we got something good to talk about. We don't like to keep regurgitating information. And this is a good topic to talk about because college football recruiting can be affected massively by this, right? Imagine we picking up and going out of and creating a whole nother league, and there's something that, you know, the masses don't like. And this is a contract that you're stuck in, you know, at least for 4 years before you could come back to the NCAA, and then you have to get accepted back in. Like, imagine that type of process. So that's what we're looking at over the next few years to see if it transpires. But with that being said, man, thank y'all for tuning in. If y'all haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, think about becoming a member of the AAA family. And let's hit a like goal on this video, on this live stream and this video. Let's hit a like goal of 50. We've hit 65, 85, 95. Let's get to 50 on this one. Greg Sankey, SEC separated from the NCAA. Is it a possibility? Is it realistic? Let me know in the comments what you think. And with that being said, remember, when you see your boy in the streets, holler at me and say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be blessed. And I'll catch y'all on the gaming content, man. Y'all be blessed, y'all. Let's go.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smook Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You can do this by becoming a member of the AAA family. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link, it'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. Understand that there are multiple ways to support the channel, and each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. Once you join, YouTube is going to ask for some payment information, and make sure you monitor your subscription dates. Also, if you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smook Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com, and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy, Coach Smook of the Coach Smook Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel.